Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Tricky, and my co-host, Will. How are we, mate?
I'm very good, Trent. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How's your... Now, I don't know if you want to discuss personal matters on air, but you've had a very eventful day?
We'll just leave it.
But how good has the weather been lately? Just moving on from that.
Yeah, really good. Really
How
good.
about that weather?
Terrible. That's a weekend wasn't
not
bad.
Yeah, no, weekend, not now. But I'm talking about the weekend. How good was that?
Weekend was good. How was your finals? I heard were pretty good.
Yeah, so for the Outer East, I got to do the Div 2 Grand Final, which was Alexandra and Powtown, and I tipped Powtown going into it, and they ended up coming away with the win. I believe it was 10 or 12 points. So it was a really good game. And then on the Sunday, we also had... prior to that, because it was a grand final, we do reserves as well, and that went to... Can't even remember, to be honest. It was Warburton and Millgrove v someone. I just can't remember who the other one was. And it wasn't Warburton and Millgrove who won. It might have been Alexandra, actually. Anyways.
Really good commentator.
But Powtown won the seniors one, because I remember that one. And then Sunday, I did Officer Berwick Springs qualifying final. Winner of that... No, not Officer Berwick Springs. Berwick Springs and Emerald. Why I was thinking of Officer, because I'm at Officer this weekend. But Berwick Springs and Emerald, and winner goes straight through the granny. It actually went to extra time. But the thing was, I remember I was texting Dad at one point, because I don't think they could find the stream at one point. So I was texting him and I was like, oh, this could go to extra time. Never mind. Berwick Springs have kicked a goal. It would have been about a minute left. 20 seconds later, Emerald go down the other end, kick a goal too to tie the scores up as well. But they went to extra time, and then in the extra time, it was 5 minutes each side.
Yep.
In the first 5 minutes, Berwick Springs kicked 4.
Oh, so it was a blowout.
So they ended up winning by 4 goals.
Oh, damn.
So it was a really good game, and probably one that wasn't expected. Everyone thought Emerald would run away with it, but Berwick Springs looked really good. And I know the grand final, I don't know if it's for Div 1 as well, but I know Premier's locked at Officer, so that will be good.
Are you commentating that? Or?
Yeah, so with Div 2 and Div 1, for the grand finals, we do reserves and seniors. Premier Division, we do 19s, reserves, and seniors. So,
okay, yep.
Yeah, so this week I've got, I don't know exactly the games. I believe one of them's Narry and Wandon. One of them's Saturday I'm at Officer, and Sunday I'm at Woori-Alec again.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so, and just a quick one too. Last night, Mornington Peninsula had their awards night last night, and former guest of the show, if you guys remember, when me and Connor interviewed him, good old Connor.
Well, yeah, Connor.
No, he was very respectful. Anyways, Josh Newman had a very massive night. Obviously, his Mornington Bulldogs have had an outstanding season, exceeded all expectations, made their way to a grand final after getting the win over local Devon Meadows on the weekend. But Josh, with his outstanding season, got Coach of the Year. Then he was in the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League Div 2 Team of the Year. He was starting in the centre. He was also the captain of that team and the coach of that team, and then took home the Player of the Year for the Div 2 by 1 vote. So a magnificent season there for him.
Season.
And Mornington also got Best Clubman, I'm pretty sure. Or something along those lines. But Best Clubman. So, yeah, big night for that. And last night, our socials blew up a little bit.
Oh, they did, yes.
The socials blew up bits. Now, so I want to give a shout out to Ryan Bastanak, who obviously everyone knows. We had him about 10 episodes ago, and we keep in contact every now and then. And I remember him messaging me, probably would have been about 2 weeks ago. And he goes, hey, mate, just went back and watched a bit of the episode and came across the video of talking about the under-18s with Dusty Cunners and Gary Rowan, and you should clip that up. I've been laughing. He goes, I laughed so hard at it, that will get you a bit of, clickbait. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I left it for 2 weeks and kind of forgot about it. And then I was just sitting there and something clicked in my mind. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. Did it. Then tagged Gary Rowan, Dustin Martin, Ben Cunnington, Andrew Hooper, and Ryan Bastanak in it. Within about 10 minutes, Gary Rowan saw it. Gary Rowan liked it. Then Gary Rowan shared it to his story, tagged all those 4 boys. Within 4 minutes of Gary Rowan sharing it, it went from 19 views to a K.
Yeah, pretty big that.
It went to 19 views to a K. And on back of that, so after that, Andrew Hooper, who played 7 games for the Western Bulldogs, also shared it, tagging all those boys. Then Ryan Bastanak shared it, obviously. And then Basty's Brews with Basty also shared it. And then another fan page, Geelong fan page, has just shared it, I saw. So currently, as we look at it on the Insta, we are currently at 11.7k views at 150 likes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then if you go over to the TikTok, I put it up the TikTok a little bit later, but the TikTok is currently on, if I just refresh it now, about 7k with 414 likes. So, yeah, but the cheeky follow too, like, at first I saw, shout out to Dawson D, who we've had on the podcast as well. I saw they actually recently did an episode with Jeff Horn.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so, and they were talking about him just coming out. You know, he came out of nowhere, then next minute he's fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Yep.
And they tagged Manny Pacquiao in it. And I was like, you know what? They're talking about Dusty and all that in Ben Cunnington. Why don't you just tag him? The worst that can happen is they look at it and go, eh.
Yeah, true.
Gary Rowan's seen it, acknowledged it, and then further on shared it. So I appreciate Gary Rowan for doing that. It was just a stab in the dark, and it's clearly worked. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so that was just made my night a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Big cheers to Gary.
A bit, made my night. I was like, oh, Gary Rowan. But yeah, so obviously last week, All Australian. Now for the YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll place the All Australian team here. And listening at home, let's just run through and see if you guys agree, if you agree and then you had any admissions. So starting with the full back line, went James Sicily, Callum Wilkie and Tom Stewart. Half back line was Jack Sinclair, Darcy Moore, Dan Houston. The centre line, now they finally picked wingers, Will. They finally picked wingers.
Which is good.
They went Errol Gordon, Marcus Bontempelli and Josh Dacos, while the midfield went Tim English in the ruck, Zach Butters and Nick Dacos. The forward line was Connor Rosie, Taylor Walker, Christian Petrarca, Charlie Cameron, Charlie Curnow, and Toby Green, as well as Toby Green being the captain, the full forward line. And the bench was Jordan Dawson, Nick Larkey, Zach Merritt, and Caleb Sarong. What did you think of this side? I know I got 20 of the 22 out of this, so I was pretty happy with that.
Who did you miss out on?
So I wasn't confident putting Kyle Langford there, but I put him there just as a... You know how sometimes they throw in a weird one?
Yeah, interchange or actually...
I had him in a forward pocket because I thought Charlie Cameron was a bit inconsistent.
Yep.
But I did rate his season as well. And what was the other one? I had Tom Liberatore instead of Zach Merritt, which I've had a few replies saying Libba over Merritt any day.
Yeah, I reckon Libba should have been over Merritt. I'm also surprised that Harris Andrew wasn't on the bench, but I can see why.
You gave me a weird look when I went Wilkie over him too, and Wilkie's got in there. I feel like that could be one. You didn't agree with me at first.
Yeah, didn't agree at first, and I listened to a few stats when they were doing the team, and yeah, I can sort of see now.
Because I think what is with Wilkie, he's really good one-on-one, but he can play one-on-one and he can intercept, which Harris Andrews can do too. But I think it's Wilkie's capability to play on all heights. He's not the tallest person, and he'll likely this weekend in the final get Toby Green.
Yeah.
It's very likely he'll get Toby Green. So to be able to play on the likes of... So one point he'll be playing on Toby Green, next minute he's playing on Jesse Hogan. He can adapt like that.
Yeah, the versatility of him is very good.
Yeah, so I thought that was good. And it was good to see Nick Larkey get recognition for being third in the Coleman in a underperformed North Melbourne side, to say the least. They could have easily just left him out, but it was good to see him get some recognition. Now, moving on to what we're going to do here is obviously coming into finals now this week. It's a big week for the finals. We're going to review our the preseason predictions the boys here made. Obviously, Will wasn't a part of the podcast group at this point, but we're going to review the predictions that the boys made prior to the season and see how we go and see how we went, and then see what we would change now. So I'll just tell you which ones you can do, and then we'll go from there. If that makes sense.
Done.
So in 18th position was West Coast. That went to me, and in the preseason, I predicted them to finish 17th. So one spot off. I said look out for Ruben Gimby, which when you look at it here, he wasn't terrible. Played a bit of midfield, played a bit of defence, 17 matches at 13.7 disposals on average, and his best game was round 9 versus Gold Coast, where he racked up 12 disposals, but a mammoth 16 tackles in his first season. Need to lift. I said Elliot Yeo. I probably still stand by that. He's inconsistent in his body, just doesn't do it for me. 10 matches, he played 17.4 disposals. His best game was round 13 versus Adelaide, where he had 30 disposals and 5 clearances. Tim Kelly took home the John Worsfold Medal for best and fairest with 200 votes, while Oscar Allen was recognised in second place and Liam Duggan in third to round up the top 3. The most improved, it's hard to. I think the most improved was the ruckman Bailey Williams. I thought Bailey Williams was really good. He actually comes from Frankston Pines Football Club.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so I thought Bailey Williams was really good. And who's the biggest disappointment? Oh, there's a few. Let's just say there's a few. You know, it could be Gaff.
Yeah, I was going to say Andrew Gaff.
Yeah, so they're probably my thing. Do you want to take the 17th place, which was predicted by Holty, read out what he said, and then we'll discuss what we think about it at the end as well.
So, North Melbourne's predicted 17th by Holty. He said look out for Tristan.
And obviously they did finish 17th as well, so he got that on the bit. Tristan Cherry.
That one. And Liam Shields. Season stats, 9 matches, 24.4 hitouts, 11.4 disposals. Best game, round 17 versus Geelong, 45 hitouts and 19 disposals.
That was for Tristan Cherry?
Yep. And then for Liam Shields, he played 16 matches, 17.7 disposals. Best game was against St Kilda in round 8, 28 disposals, 5 clearances, 9 tackles. Someone who needs to lift, Hugh Greenwood. His season stats were 14 matches played, 14.4 disposals. Best game was also round 8 against St Kilda with 28 touches, 5 clearances, 9 tackles.
So when you look at this now, obviously he got the position 17th correct. What did you think of his lookouts for? And now when you look at it, who was the biggest improved player you thought, and who was the biggest disappointment, or do you reckon he was pretty spot on?
I reckon most improved was probably Nick Larkey.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest disappointment, I don't know if I can't pick one like straight off the top of my head. Is there anyone you have in mind?
Not really. Maybe even Ben Mackay, the hype around him, but then he came in. It's a hard one, but that's probably the only ones I could really think of other than that. But yeah, that's probably the only one I can think of really.
Next up.
So I had Hawthorn next up. They finished 16th, and I predicted them to win the Wooden Spoon, which I wasn't far off, only a couple of spots off. But I said look out for Giant Newcomb, and did I nail that one, I think. 22 matches, you averaged 25.1 disposals, go along with 5.5 clearances and 6.4 score involvements. His best game was round 22 v Western Bulldogs, where he had 40 disposals and kicked a goal. Was very good in that game. And I said lift, and this guy responded. And I thought he would respond. James Warple, 23 matches, averaging 26.1 disposals. His best game was round 18 versus North Melbourne, where he had 32, 6 tackles and a goal. Who was the most improved? I'm going to say Will Day.
Will Day most improved?
Was my most
with
improved.
With the position change?
Yeah, going in for...
I can agree with you there.
And then biggest disappointment, Denver Granger Brass.
Yeah, I can stand with you there.
15th place was Gold Coast, and Connor had this one read out what he had, and we'll have a look what we think.
So Connor predicted the Gold Coast Suns to finish 14th, not far off. They actually finished 15th. He said look out for Noah Anderson. Knock that on the head.
Yeah, obviously took on the BNF.
He did. With season stats, 23 matches played, 26.9 disposals, 6.4 clearances, 6.4 score involvements. His best game was against St Kilda, 38 disposals, 7 clearances, 9 score involvements, 10 tackles, 687 metres gained, and 1 goal. And he had the player that needed to lift was Matt Rowell. His stats were 23 matches, 21.2 disposals, 14.3 contested possessions, 7.7 clearances, 5.1 score involvements, and 8.3 tackles. His best game was against West Coast in round 9 with 29 touches, 17 tackles, 6 clearances, 3 goal assists, 10 score involvements, and 605 metres gained with a goal.
Straight off the bat, I'd just like to say Connor hit the nail on the head with Noah Anderson.
Yep.
And on the other one, I think Matt Rowell responded to lift because people probably did have questions around him after he came on with a bang in his first season before getting that injury. But that was one. Most improved, I'm gonna say Jack Lukosius for me. Lukosius, I think obviously was drafted as a key forward, struggled a little bit, went down back because of his ball use, now put back up forward, and I thought he was really good. Biggest disappointment. Now, this one is tough. I don't have one off the top of my head. Do you?
Not off the top of my head, to be honest.
And then
could you say Chol maybe?
Yeah,
had
that's
a
a,
bit of-
yeah.
he had a
Maybe
bit
a
of
trial was a bit, yeah,
Bit of hype last year.
because he did have a good season last
He
year.
did. Dropped off a little bit this year.
Yep, and so next one was Fremantle, which was Connor. He predicted them to finish 5th. Geez, did they go below expectation? They
Oh,
finished
yeah.
14th. He said, look out for Jordan Clark. Solid season from Jordan Clark, I think. 23 matches, 19.2 disposals, and 5.7 marks. His best game was round 22 v West Coast, 28 disposals and 10 marks. And Lift, which was fair enough and still stands fair enough. I don't know why they signed him for, I'm pretty sure it was 2 years. I would have only gave him 1. But he said Nat 5. He only played the 9 matches, averaging 13.9 disposals. And his best game was round 13 versus Richmond, where he had 17 disposals, 4 clearances, 7 tackles, and a goal. The biggest improver, I think, was Jai Amos.
Jai Miss,
Yeah, Jai Amos, yep. And the biggest disappointment was probably Nat 5.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And I'll take the next one too because, the next two? Oh, next one. Actually, you take the next one because I've got the next 3 that were predicted by me.
All right, 13th, Richmond. Trent predicted them to finish 6th.
Yeah, I thought with the midfield, I thought they would do a bit better than, but they let me down.
Your lookout was Daniel Rioli, season stats. 23 matches played, averaging 20.7 disposals. His best game was round 10 against the Bombers with 26 touches and 8 marks.
I didn't think he had as good a season as he did last year. So I was going off the back of last year and I said he would be a smoky for All Australian. I thought last year he was better.
Better than this year?
Yeah.
Yep. Your lift was Jason Castagna, who retired.
I don't think he ended up playing.
Yeah, I don't think he did either.
So, most improved. When you think of it off the top, Samson Ryan, he's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, Samson Ryan's been good.
Samson Ryan.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Biggest disappointment. Not one that comes to the top of my head.
I
No.
can't think of anyone. We really should have thought about this.
Yeah. Geelong. I had them and preseason, and I predicted them to finish 2nd. They finished 12th. I said look out for Zach Guthrie, who I thought had a solid season. You're shaking your head like that.
I thought when you say look out for someone, you'd expect them to have more than...
Well, he had 23 matches, 16.1 disposals, 5.6 marks. His best game was round 18 versus Essendon, 24 disposals, 6 intercepts, and 5 marks. Lift, I said Brendan Parfitt, and I'll stick by that. He only managed 9 matches, 12.7 disposals. His best game was round 24 versus the Bulldogs, 26 disposals, 8 clearances, and 9 tackles. My most improved was probably Tom Atkins.
Yep.
Thought he was solid, but my biggest disappointment was Tyson Stengel.
Yep, I can get behind that. He had a massive year last year. Didn't do much this year.
All Australian last year. Next one.
Next one with the Bombers. By Tricky, 11th. Essendon predicted 11th. So, well done. Look out for Archie Perkins. Season stats, 23 matches, played 18 goals, 15.3 disposals. Best game was round 1 against the Hawks, 20 disposals, 3 goals, and 7 marks. Your lift was Will Setterfield. Season stats were 10 matches, 20.8 disposals, 6 tackles. His best game was round 2 against Gold Coast, 28 touches, 9 tackles, and a goal. I'm going to put this over on you. Who do you reckon was their most improved?
Oh, without a doubt, Nick Martin.
Yep.
Without a doubt, Nick Martin. And biggest disappointment, Dylan Chill.
You reckon Dylan Shield? Yeah.
Adelaide, Connor had this and he predicted them to finish 14th and they finished 10th. And I think he knocked this one on the head too. Look out for Darcy Fogarty. He played 21 matches and kicked 34 goals. Best game being round 5 v Carlton, where he kicked a bag of 5, had 16 disposals and took 10 marks. Lift, he had Rory Sloane and Ben Keys. Season stats for Rory Sloane, he played 22 matches. I didn't even realise he played that much. But he averaged 18.1 disposals. His best game was round 16 versus North Melbourne, where he had 30 disposals. Ben Keys, who I thought had a really good year, played a bit in the midfield and as a pressure forward too. He played the 23 matches, averaging 19.2 disposals while kicking 22 goals. His best game was round 16 versus North Melbourne, where he had 30 disposals, 7 tackles, and kicked the 2 goals. The most improved, it's going to be Jordan Dawson. For me, Jordan Dawson.
Yep.
Going in after playing a bit of halfback and coming in as that big body midfielder, I thought he was exceptional.
Do you reckon Tex as well?
No, but he had a good season last year too.
Yeah, but I reckon he still improved heaps upon that.
But I don't think from the outside people knew Jordan Dawson could be this quality of a player. Biggest disappointment, probably Rory Sloane.
You reckon Rory Sloane?
Rory Sloane was one of them, I reckon.
Did you say Crouch, you reckon?
Yeah, but I don't think...
Compared to his best last year.
Yeah, I guess, maybe.
He's fallen off a bit.
And last team.
Last team was the Western Bulldogs, who finished 9th, predicted 9th by Holty. He said, look out for Rory Lobb. His season stats, 20 matches, 24 goals, 1.2 average, with 10.3 disposals. Best game was against Geelong, with 16 touches, 3 goals, 15 hitouts and 7 marks. Lift was Jamari Ugle-Hagan. His stats were 23 matches, 35 goals, 1.5 average, 11.3 disposals, 5.2 marks. His best game was round 21 against Richmond, with 15 disposals, 5 marks and 5 goals. I reckon Jamari Ugle-Hagan's had a very good season.
So do I. If he can fix his accuracy in front of goals, he's going to be a star of this competition. Like, you can already see it. How good was his marking?
Very good.
Very sticky hands, and he didn't get the Rory Lobb one right.
No, I don't think he did either.
But yeah, so
who do you reckon was their biggest
improver?
Yep.
I had Ed Richards.
Yeah.
I really liked.
You had him in your All-Australian.
Yeah, but I thought he was exceptional, Ed Richards.
And biggest disappointment for you?
Biggest disappointment would probably be Rory Lobb, to be honest.
Yeah. Rory Lobb had big expectations coming over.
Yeah, probably Rory Lobb.
I don't think he lived up to that.
Now, before we get, we're a bit of a shorter show, this one, obviously, because the bye round in footy, but there is some UFC action, and Will is an avid UFC listener.
I do love
So we're going to
UFC.
let Will take us through the UFC card, which is coming to Sydney this weekend.
It is coming to Sydney. I missed out on I could have got tickets, decided not to, but kind of spewing I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big card. A lot of Aussies on the card.
Yeah, talk us through the card and give us some predictions.
So in the prelims, we have Jamie Malarkey versus John Makadeski, a lightweight bout. I reckon this will be a pretty even fight.
And Jamie Malarkey's Aussie?
He's an Aussie, yep. So he lost his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
He either lost or drew his last fight, but I'm pretty sure he lost. I reckon this will go the distance. It'll go to decision, and I reckon Jamie Malarkey will get it.
Yep.
Etch over in the decision for that one. Featherweight, my favourite fighter at the moment, Jack Jenkins.
He's on the up.
Bacchus Marsh boy. He's versing Mariscal in featherweight. Jack Jenkins will win this, I reckon. Yep. Big fight for him, actually.
Will go the way, or will he...
Well, both his first 2 fights have gone the distance.
Mm-hmm.
He's won them both. The first one he won quite comfortably. His last fight, I reckon he should have lost.
Yep.
But he ended up winning that one. I reckon Jack Jenkins got better striking and better kickboxing. As long as and he's got enough wrestling, I reckon, to get him through this fight. So I've got Jack Jenkins winning that fight in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-round fight. To finish off the prelims, we have Carlos Ulberg versus Da Wun Jong. Now, if I have this correct, Carlos is 9-1, and I reckon he might lose this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought he was undefeated, but he's not. I reckon he might lose this one purely because in Da Wun Jong's last fight, his striking was just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely crazy. Then we go to the main card. We've got Tyson Pedro versus Anton Turk. I can't even pronounce that name. But Tyson will win that easy.
Yep.
Round 1 or 2 knockout. Justin Taffer versus Austin Lane. Justin Taffer in his last fight had a medical stoppage because he got an eye poke, pretty bad one. So he's coming back off that. I reckon he'll end up getting the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Then the co-main event, which is Tai Suivasa versus Alexander Volkov. That'll be a big fight. I don't think that Bam Bam will win that one.
Yep.
He's been good his last couple of fights, but I reckon Alexander Volkov's just that bit better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Got the better cardio, can go the distance more.
Now the big fight.
The big fight. My favourite fighter, Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. This will be an interesting fight, I reckon. Obviously, Izzy's been champion for a while. Well, he lost for a little bit against Pereira, but got that one back. He's only got 2 losses to his record. Then we've got Sean Strickland, who's been a massive up-and-comer recently. So,
I think I saw he's 5th ranked in the...
yeah, I think 4th now.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I can check. But I reckon Izzy will win that. But that will be a very interesting fight. I reckon that could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are my predictions.
And obviously, KO and main event, I believe, starts 11:30, and the press conference is on Thursday.
Press conference is on Thursday, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to watch. Then there's always something that happens there.
That'll be a good press conference to watch. Izzy and Sean Strickland will be talking a lot of shit to
Do
each
they
other.
not like each other?
No. Not at all.
What about where will you be watching this? And will you be watching this at home, at a bar?
No, I'll probably be going across the road to
Crown?
the pub.
Yep.
Yeah, somewhere in
Yep.
Crown, watch it.
Mm-hmm. And you going to place any bets
I probably will, yeah.
back in Jack Jenkins or?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So my bets will probably be Israel Adesanya to win, Justin Taffer to win, Tyson Pedro to win, Carlos Ulberg to win, Jack Jenkins all to win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are all my predictions.
Yeah, and then so obviously that's in Sydney. I was looking it up. So they've been to Perth, they've been to Sydney.
They've been to Perth, Sydney. They came to Melbourne a while ago.
Yeah. So is there any chance they come to Melbourne anytime soon? Or
Maybe. I feel like the next place they will come will be Melbourne if they do come anywhere, like go anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because we had Perth earlier in the year.
Yep.
So it's coming to Australia more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see where they hold it if it comes back to Melbourne though, because last time they held it at Marvel and I heard that it wasn't very good
Okay. Yep.
because they had a bunch of floor seating and if you're right up the back, you couldn't see much action.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see where they hold it. I'd assume probably Rod Laver,
Yeah, probably. You'd think
something
so.
like that.
Now we did do it last week, but let's go over again. Tips for this week going into the finals. Thursday night we have Collingwood and Melbourne, and the weather doesn't look good by the looks of it. It's potential a little bit of hail too.
Bit of hail.
Apparently.
Jeez.
Collingwood and Melbourne. Who have you got in this one, Mac?
I can't remember what I said last time, but I'm pushing towards Collingwood.
Well, I'm gonna back Collingwood in, obviously.
I think last time I said Melbourne. I can't remember though.
Friday night at the MCG, 7:50. You got Carlton and the Swans.
Yeah, I'm going Carlton for that
Yeah,
one.
I'm going Carlton
I can't see
as well.
in that one.
St Kilda v GWS, and breaking news. You know how Toby Bedford sat on the tribunal last night and got the week?
Yep.
About 40 minutes ago, or about 10 minutes before we started recording, GWS confirmed they're appealing it again.
Again?
They're appealing it.
But didn't they already appeal it?
No, I
He
don't.
got off?
I don't.
I thought he got off with a fine.
But let me just search it up. But they're definitely appealing it again. I saw. Let's just go on the news.
Do you reckon he should be booked?
Giants to appeal Bedford ban again. Giants, Great Western Sydney will make one final attempt to overturn forward Toby Bedford's one-match suspension, with the club confirming they will challenge the ban at the AFL appeal board on Thursday afternoon.
Right. Do you reckon he should be reported? Or should get the week?
I mean,
I can't remember what he did. Is there a video there?
I'll see there's a video there. It was a bump. Here we go.
Head high bump.
On Zach Fisher. Just a little bit of an ad here.
Oh, wow. What's this an ad for?
Gatorade, I reckon.
Bold move, put
There
the
we go.
Saints in there.
Marchback bearing down on Bedford.
We'll get our live reaction.
Needs to find another kick.
You know,
Bedford has it now.
Himmelberg came to grief very quickly.
Well, they've got to put that one back in the holster because the whole
Wait,
competition knows.
hopefully there's another replay.
Really ready for that
But
one.
let's have a look.
What?
To grief very quickly.
I think he needs to find another kick.
It's like they didn't even show it. Hang
You
on.
know, he thinks the same.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
So it was like a block,
Grief very quickly.
but
I don't know if that's a
Let's check.
week.
it's going to be a tough one to overturn though. Seeing they've already sat an appeal and they're going for it again. I guess it's do or die. If they lose, they're out.
True.
And he's been a pivotal part
I can't see
to.
them losing.
What do you mean?
I can't see GWS losing against St Kilda.
No, but anything can happen, really.
True. It's
I'm
finals
personally
footy.
going the Giants.
Yeah, same. I can back you there.
And the last match at the Gabba, we got Brisbane Lions and Port Adelaide. I'm going to go with Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, Brizzy as well.
All right, that's probably just about going to wrap it up. Obviously, a short one with no footy this week and finals. How good?
Just before we go.
Yeah, you go for
Did
it,
you
mate.
catch any of the AFLW on the weekend?
I personally didn't because I was commentating a lot, so I know it came over and crashed straight away. What did you think of some of the AFLW?
I caught one game. I watched a bit of the Hawks Bombers game.
What'd you
down in
think? Yeah.
Frankston. The quality of AFLW football has come leaps and bounds since last season and even the season before.
Yep.
I can see in the next 2 or 3 years that's going to be really, really good to watch.
Yeah.
Some of the footy, some of the movement of the ball, just you haven't seen that from the AFLW.
They arguably go in harder than the boys too.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with that.
I noticed that calling some women's games as well. They go in a bit harder than the men's sometimes. 'Cause
Really?
They don't care, yeah.
But yeah, the quality of that football is really, really good.
And the pathways are really good now too, which is really good to see.
Yeah, because back when I was playing, the girls used to have to play in the guys' teams until under 13s.
I think
And then
our
stopped.
It was 13s or 14s,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was 13s. Then they stopped because there was no girls' teams to go into after that until very recently.
So it's been good progress, which is really good to see.
Yeah.
And the other one before we leave, Boomers.
Gee, they looked average the other night.
Oh yeah. So what are we out? Or it's one? We've lost 1-1-1.
I think we've just made medal
Because we
contention.
we lost to Germany, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought we were always going to lose to Germany though.
Have we been overhyped?
Yes, I think so. Let me just double check. Hang on, I'll get it up.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, there was a lot of hype going in. Obviously, Giddy in there and a couple of others. You got Paddy Mills and is it Dante Exum as well?
Yeah, we've got heaps of NBA depth.
A lot more NBA Aussies are playing NBA now.
Yeah, so we must be on to what do you call it? Like medal matches now.
Okay, yep. And who's to say we have? Is there a fixture at all or not?
Yeah, we beat Georgia.
Okay, yep.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Where? Hang on a second. Oh, I'm scrolling the wrong way.
Here we go.
All right, so yeah, we beat Georgia 100-84.
Yep.
So here it still says to be decided.
Okay, so
Online.
we could still be not in there, which would be a big disappointment.
No, we are. We
Okay,
are.
yep.
We definitely are.
Okay, yep.
But I think they're just waiting to see who we play.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm not sure.
Yep.
It's confusing me. Hang on. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterfinals still left to go.
Okay, yep. How do you think we'll go?
Depending who we play, there's some good teams,
Yep.
but
Spain are ranked 1, aren't they?
yeah, Spain are ranked 1.
USA 2.
USA look good.
Are we 3 or 4?
I think with one of the two. But
Yep.
we're all I know is we won bronze at the
Mhm.
last Olympics.
Yep. I know
Italy's
that.
good, USA's good, Germany's good, Canada's good, Slovenia and Serbia are both very good.
Well, they've got Is one of them got Jokic, don't they?
I don't think Jokic is playing in the World Cup.
Is he Serbian?
He is Serbian, yeah. He's too busy racing horses. It's true.
All right, I think is there anything else you wanted to add on?
No, I reckon that's it, mate.
All right, well, thanks everyone for listening to this episode. Obviously, a shorter episode with no footy on the weekend, but geez, am I excited
Yeah, I'm
for
very
finals to start. It's been a magnificent season, been very close all year. Like, there's probably 12 teams that could be playing finals and probably unlucky to miss out. But at the end of the day, there's only 8 that can do it, and I guess make the best team win at the end of the day. Until then, see you next week.